Welcome to the Seven Figure Builder Podcast, everything new construction and development. My name is Arthur. I have developed over 1,000 lots to date, specifically for the residential side. And I've been able to coordinate with a builder and build over 250 doors in the last 5 years. And I'm currently 28 years old and we're just going to continue to run. So super excited to get into it. And today I am going to share on how I would get into the real estate game if I was to restart and know what I know today. So before I get into this, I really do want to share a little bit of context, a little bit of background on myself and my story getting to where I am today. So I was in the auto industry. I really focused on buying cars and reselling them, but not only just buying them. What I would end up doing is I'd buy a car, I'd add some really nice wheels on it, maybe add a suspension, and then sell it for a premium. I'd have anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 of profit. So for some people in the fix and flip game, I was fixing and flipping cars. And so that's what I was doing, as well as I had a short-term sales job selling cars at a dealership. That was only for a few months, but I ended up breaking some records on the sales side. So it was really cool. But I was really indulged in that auto industry because of my dad. My dad grew up in the car space, but I really wanted to get into the real estate side of things. And so what I started doing was I would go to these different meetups and I would look up, fix and flip meetups and wholesale meetups, real estate meetups. And I would go to these different events and just sit there and listen. This is me being 17, 18 years old. And I would just try to surround myself around other people in the real estate community. So I think key number one is if you're looking to get into the real estate space, you've got to get yourself in rooms where they're talking real estate. That's a really big key for me, and that's what helped me because I was constantly pushing and trying to get in. The crazy part is it still took me about 4 years to get into the space, and the way that I got in was by doing an internship. And so I would go around, I'd go to these different meetups, I'd talk to these flippers, I'd talk to lenders, I would talk to wholesalers, and I would offer to work for free. I would say, could I work for you for free? Could I work for you for free? And I probably went to 3 or 5 different fix and flip companies. All of them said, why would I create my own competition? And so I was learning that a lot of people are not very generous with the knowledge. And in fact, they don't want to create more competition for themselves. I wanted to break that. And I have learned in my life that the more I give, the more I serve, the more I have. And so I went to a developer and offered, I didn't know he was a real estate developer. I was just told he's in the real estate game. And it was through a church that I didn't even attend. It wasn't my primary church, but through a different church, somebody told me about this guy that's in the real estate space, and I ended up getting a coffee meeting. Well, I attempted to get a coffee meeting, but he said, hey, I'm too busy to get out of my office and go meet with you for coffee. I have this 15-minute in-between meeting time frame. If you'd like, you can come by, say hello, and we can have a conversation. So I go and I come into his office, not knowing what to expect, didn't really know what he did. I did find out he was in real estate development, so I started watching YouTube videos, but most YouTube videos on real estate development is like these guys building skyscrapers and doing crazy stuff. I ended up coming to his office. We just had a good conversation. I shared my story on me flipping cars, really wanting to get into the game, going and talking to these flippers, them saying, no, you can't. I don't want to create competition. By the end of the conversation, he said, I really like you. I like your ambition. What I could do for you to get your foot in the door is I can offer you a summer internship where you can just follow around the project manager and learn from them. So for me, I took that opportunity right away, said, oh, I'm 100% in. I want to do this. And again, guys, it took me 4 years to do that. Then after the internship in the summer, I got offered a junior project manager position. And I worked there for another 4 years. So 8 years of time, 4 years trying to get into it, 4 years of building the experience to come to where I am today, now doing this and doing over 1,000 lots. How could I shave that 8 years down to, let's say, 6 months to a year? That's where I wanted to give you the context of the story. So if I was looking to get into the real estate game, I would 100% go to these different real estate meetups, events, things like that, surround myself by the right people. Back then I was exchanging business cards. I didn't have a business card, so I said, hey, let me collect yours. I'll send you an email. Nowadays, it's not really business cards, you're exchanging contacts. So what I would do is I would consistently go to these meetups, but you have to understand anything that's free is free. You're getting free value. What you really want to do is start getting into these paid communities and other groups where it is paid, because when somebody pays to do something, for example, I went to a paid event It was extremely valuable. There was several things that I took out from my specific business that now I'm implementing and getting a 10, 20, 30x higher return on my business because I paid to be at an event.
What's up, guys? Everybody keeps asking my comments, my DMs. I need help. I want to get in the game. Our team and I will help you out. Just shoot us a text message, 360-216-0323. We're going to answer every question you have, development, construction, wholesale, anything that you need. 360-216-0323. Let's get back to the video.
So I would really look into paying to be at different events and starting to really gain that knowledge, but also take action at the same time. So a simple way, I would say if you have no capital, the first thing I would do to get into real estate is look into real estate wholesaling or deal finding, but the best barrier to entry version of that would be bird dogging. And what you're really doing is you're finding the top 10 buyers in your city, county, or state. And you can get that information from online data platforms or just the title company. The title company can give you that information. Oh, these 10 people have bought in 30 homes for cash. Great, now you have these 10 people. And what you do is you want to meet up with these 10 different people and say, hey, I have a lot of connections with other people that are selling real estate. I just want to know what's your buy box. What are you looking to purchase? And they'll say, well, for me, I like a 1,500 square foot home. I want minimum 3 bedrooms and my price range is 300,000 value and I want to buy it for around 150, whatever their buy box. And every area has a different number or a different price point. But the point is you're getting this buyer. You're finding out what they need. Then the wholesale game is you create your own leads, you get your own contracts. It's good. But in order to get your feet wet and for you to get introduced into the game, I would want you to get your first deal done through another wholesaler, agent, or seller and just present it to your 10 to 12 buyers. So what you're doing is you're talking to these different wholesalers, let's say 10 of them, and you say, hey, I have the top 10 buyers. They bought 30 properties each, and this is what they're looking for. Do you have anything that is that would fit their buy box? And that wholesaler might say, oh yeah, I got these 3 properties that would work. You're transparent and you tell them, well, this buyer is actually gonna pay me, so you don't have to worry about it. You're gonna work directly with them. I'm gonna get paid from my buyer. What you're doing is you're creating experience without having to pay the money. You're just using your time and your effort. And so once you get that first deal done where you have a wholesaler, you have your top buyers, and you're right in the middle of that, you will get the experience of understanding the coordination between the 2 people. And now you have that first step, which is the transaction process. Once you have that done, you can then start spending marketing dollars and you can get direct contracts instead of working with a wholesaler. Now you're going to start working with property owners, getting them under contract and working with your buyers. And you're essentially creating a lead flow for these fix and flippers, real estate investors, buyers, all those different sorts of people, but you're just that middleman. So the way that I got into the game was I had to have 4 years of experience. I was working for the developer. And at the same time, what I was doing was I was finding him deals and getting paid a commission while managing my projects for him at the same time. So I got to learn the deal flow while getting paid by somebody else. And I got to understand what it's like to sign a contract and bring it to my developer, not necessarily 10 other buyers. But then translating to my current business, I have thousands of buyers that I work with. I have my marketing team where I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars creating leads. And then I have my sales guys locking up these contracts and we're presenting it to these buyers. So that's the easiest barrier to entry. I call it the deal finder game. And we actually have an education platform called the Deal Finder where I teach you how to find these deals. But the key thing here is you just need to feel what it's like to go through one transaction to get that aha moment and say, I can actually do this. I can run a business with it. And there's so many different ways to do this. So I don't want to overwhelm you, but I'll give you an example. I have a buddy in the East Coast. He door knocks foreclosures and does about $760,000 to $850,000 every year door knocking. I have another guy doing the same thing in Florida. I have a local guy here on the West Coast that drives through neighborhoods, finds rundown houses, signs a contract with the property owner, sells it to his top 10 buyers, and he also recently closed a deal for $150,000. Then you have me. We've done over 1.1 million in wholesale, billion, that'd be nice, 1.1 million in wholesale deals. And I don't ever step out of my office. So I have my virtual team that's creating warm leads. It comes into my closers, my team. They negotiate and talk to the property owner. We lock a contract in. My team, which again is virtual or in the office, then sends the deal out to my buyers. And we have people, boots on the ground, that we just hire a third party to take photos of the properties across the nation. So we're in 17 different states. And we're closing deals that way all virtually. So what's cool is in the real estate game, there's so many ways to hammer, or there's so many different ways to get a deal done, but I wanted to keep it super simple for you. You very simply want to find your buyers. You either use a wholesaler or you go directly to the seller, and you're collecting the check in the middle. So I call it the middleman. And for us, we average about $20,000 a deal. For your first deal, it could be $5,000 to $10,000 for that first one. So it really depends on where you're at. But then I want to go to the next step. Once you master that, once you master finding deals, and I talk about this, and we'll get you a link, the 3 stages of success in the real estate game for me personally is deal finding, building, developing. So once you really master finding those deals, you will learn from these buyers, the fix and flippers, the developers, the builders, how they think and how they work, to where you're going to start seeing what's the better deals. When you get to the place of you can find, or you can see right away that's a better deal, you're now ready for section 2, which is building. And now you can start seeing, oh, this is a really good deal. I could flip this one. I could build this one out. And not only can you start building your own projects, but you'll understand you can make the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 spreads because you know that's a killer deal. So again, if you're interested in the education platform, I did mention it earlier, it's Deal Finder. You just got to reach out to my team. We'll answer your questions and we'll get you set up and get you started right away. The phone number for our team is 360-216-0323. And you can just reach out and say education or Deal Finder, and they'll connect with you. They'll see if it's a good fit and we'll get you started. And if you're not part of our community channel, we're almost at 4,000 people in that channel. We'll drop a link in there for that community channel. Again, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Hope you learned something new. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time.